listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
When we go to a contact filter, we have to go to all contacts. In the all contacts, we can go to a tab called mobile list. Under this mobile list, we can create a filter mobile list. This is something we can use it for sending out the push notification or SMS notification. As soon as I click on create mobile list here, we will get the option, which is a channel that I'm going to be using now. If I go with a mobile push, I can import the contact directly into my system by having two fields. Or if you have the customers already in your system, and you can just directly update filter and then click. There are only two ways that we can maintain the customers. One, import it from a CSV file and filter the list from the existing customers from the existing all contacts. I will go with a filter list here. When I click on filter list here, it will be asking us because we have to be grouped for it. And obviously, we will have to go with the mobile push attribute group. When I click on mobile list, now it is asking for us the all contacts. Let's select. This is from Mobile Connect. Both of them are going to be like pretty much same. I'll also show for mobile push. Here, whenever we create the list, if it's for Mobile Connect, we have to pick up the Mobile Connect attribute group. And if it's for mobile push, we will have to go with the mobile push attribute. We don't need to really worry about this attribute group because this is something which will be helping us. A Facebook will be helping us to create it. And once we have the data in the data extension, we may have to probably modify it or create another relationship. We will come to this part in the next session where we are going to be talking in detail about how we can create a relationship. Now, we have the attribute group already. I'm going to pick up the Mobile Connect data. Here, if I go to the demographics, I'll be able to see all the attribute groups which are already linked. For now, with this attribute group, there are only 3 fields. I have a contact ID locally and 3 mobile numbers, which all are mandatory fields for Mobile Connect. We discussed about 2 fields for Mobile Push, which is a device ID and contact key. And for Mobile Connect, it's a contact ID locally and mobile number too. These 3 fields are really important. Locally represents your country code and contact ID. We call it as a contact key contact ID. This is something that we define internally in the SFMC based on how the organization is structured and mobile numbers. Obviously, 3 of these fields are really important for Mobile Connect. Suppose if let's create a filter based on locally. Locally is nothing but the country code. Suppose if I say Indian, which represents India, and I can just directly create a filter from here. India Customers Mobile Connect. As usual, like the famous other filters, it will take about 1 or 2 minutes time to create the filters. Now we have about 3 contacts based on the filter that we have created. Now, at the time of sending the push notification, we can pick up these 3 contacts. We can pick up this we can pick up this list to trigger a communication to them. And these are the two methods that we can create a list. One is that we cannot import the customers to the CSV. The second option is we have the customers already in the system. We are just applying the filter. Let's check for mobile push. Let's create a mobile filter, one that's needed to push. For some reason, it's not showing. Let's try it for one last time. Anyway, this is going to be exactly same as the mobile connect. There is no difference. Instead of the filter for local, we will be putting the filter for the filter. I am creating a mobile filter. I will change it to mobile push. It's been taking time. I'll keep this page open. Meanwhile, we'll talk about the rest of the features that we have in mobile push. As we discussed, once we take the data, once we create the relationship attribute group, and we can start using this channel. And as we all know that we need to pay some amount to take post to any of these features. For now, we have this account which is up and running, and we have the subscription product. But unfortunately, we don't have any kind of a live application running on the system to show us the real-time push notification. But as we discussed, we'll be able to cover the majority of them in the practical side of it. Now let's see how we can create the push notifications and what are different types of push notifications that we have. Let's start with the first campaign. When I create the new message, here we have our outbound, we have a location entry, location exit. We have a beacon which works on. Wait, which one? More steps. I have an inbox. Perfect. The first, there are 5 steps that we will have to go through to complete the mobile push campaign. The first one is the outbound. Let me talk about 2 of the campaign, particularly location entry and location exit. These 2 campaigns are really quite interesting. But for some reason, majority of the organization does not use this campaign because it has a lot of challenges. Here, once we have the mobile data customers information in the data extension, we also have to make sure that we also tracking the customer locations in a real time. Through an API call. There is a little bit of configuration that we have to do it for 2 of these campaigns. Through an API call, we have to make sure that we push customer location to the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And we use this location to send out the push notification. I will come up with the 2 use cases for it. The first one, let's say, like if you are rotating this organization. Before that, I would like to give an example for this location entry and exit campaign. You might have noticed this in India, but I'm not sure like how it really works in abroad. But in India, when we move from one city to another state, we get a message from the operator or Airtel or Vodafone saying welcome to Karnataka and you will be applicable for roaming charges. And we get this kind of notification, and as soon as we cross one, someone has a question. We were discussing about when we cross one border, like one state to another state, we get a message like great. As a first campaign, we were discussing about the use case. When we travel from one state to another state, we get kind of a message. And these three of the campaign works exactly the same way. Location entry, location exit, and big one. All of them works based on the geolocation of a customer. Suppose when two of this campaign we really use it is, there is a one more tab which is something that we're missing in this account, where we can create the locations. Example Indiranagar, Bandu or someplace in Hyderabad. I can create a location and store it in the system. Once I store it, I'll be able to start sending a push notification to the customers when they come to that particular location. Let me show you an example. I have a screenshot. In short mobile pushes. This is something that we have already covered. This is a tab which is missing in this account. We don't have this tab in this account. How exactly this location tab works is when we go to this location tab, we can search the location here. Maximum of 25 locations that you can create for any account. And once you create this account, once you create this location, we will be able to target those set of customers when they travel into this location. Suppose I create this location at the time of executing a campaign. I pick up this location, example Bindu, and I have the location which is mentioned here. The range is here. Now, if any of my customers come into this location, and they will be getting a push notification. Now, I have recently seen a push notification coming from a retail-based organization in Bindu. Where I have come to, when I go to the location for Indranagar, I got a push notification saying that we have a Reliance digital store in Indranagar, 80 Cross. We see that you are close by. Would you like to visit the store and get some product? And then you get a discount of like a Bhutan Christmas or something like that. A lot of retail-based organizations, they can do a campaign based on the location of a customer. And this is quite interesting and really good capability that we have in SMLT as a company. But the thing is it has a lot of challenges in it. That's the reason the majority of the organization does not use this. Especially in order to come up with this campaign, we need the real-time API push. That's a really major challenge that we have for this campaign. It has to be relevant. Every few minutes, every 5 minutes, it has to capture the customer information. And it has to send the data back to the SFMC API call. And as you know that, if you have a really huge customer base for your mobile push, then it would be too difficult to send all of the customer location to SFLC API call. There is a lot of limitations whenever we have to push the data to API call. That is one big challenge to get the real-time data of a customer location. Second challenge is if any of the customers switch off the GPS, I mean the location in their phone, this campaign will definitely become ineffective. That is the second most challenge that we have for executing these geofence campaigns. These are the reasons that the majority of the organization does not use this campaign because of the difficulty of implementation. And mostly I don't also keep my location on because it always drains my battery. I always keep it out. For me, this kind of campaign is going to be definitely ineffective. There are plenty of reasons, and always, like whenever we have to capture customer information, we have to take a consent. As soon as we install any application from a Play Store or iOS, we get a consent. And this particular application would like to access your location, would like to access your contacts, would like to access your gallery. That's where we take a consent, and once the customer has given the consent, and then we'll be able to start capturing the location of a particular application. There are still some applications which need to have the location always enabled. For example, Google Pay. In case if you would like to make a transaction to another device, it always needs to access your location. When the location is enabled, that's when we can make a transaction. In that case, those kind of applications, it will be effective. We can send the notification based on the location. But that's another challenge. We have to take a consent, and then even after the customer gives the consent, they may not probably keep the location always on. Perfect. This is something that I want to show from another screenshot which I have taken. And this beacon works based on a Bluetooth range. Same way here, it's based on the GPS. This one is based on the Bluetooth devices. This set of campaigns is only for a short range. This example for this type of campaign would be suppose if you are in a mall and you're walking around in a mall keeping your mobile phone and your Bluetooth devices on same way. We can also create the location here for Bluetooth devices, Bluetooth ranges. Suppose if you are in some shopping mall and you have a retail store in the first floor, but you are in the ground floor all. And those retail customers, you have been a customer with those retail customers and they're tracking all of your locations and everything. And now, if you just go closer to their proximity based on the range that they have defined, they will be able to send a push notification to you saying that I see that you are in Phoenix Shopping Mall. We have a store in second floor. Would you like to visit that? But this kind of campaign will work only like in a close proximity, like a shopping mall, or if you suppose if you are in a kind of event or something like that which is like really close, like very close, and then you will be able to send out a push notification based on Bluetooth locations. This is something I never seen in any campaign. I never even seen any organization doing this type of campaign. But location entry and location exit. I haven't done it personally, but I have seen some organization where they used to send a push notification. But personally, I have not done it myself, and I see there are a lot of complications. Even like my organization wasn't in previously, and we have suggested this, but they did not like even go through. Like even for testing fees, because of the complications of getting the real-time data of a customer location, I mean the application customer location, we need to get it in the real time. We didn't even test it out. Really worked out. But some very few organizations really work on the campaign. Majority of the campaigns is the outbound campaign that we do it. The best use case for it is like if you like to promote your product, if you like to send out any like an offer, if you like to send out any simple push notification, and we use this outbound. When I just pick up here, for example, use cases to drop customers into your app with broadcast notification about features, offers, or any event. I mean, plenty of other campaigns that we can also use this outbound campaign for. Now let's see what are some things that we will have to go through in the next steps. Here is a message name that we give. This is going to be for internal purpose. And this message name is something not customers going to be feeling. And here we have plenty of applications which we have created, but none of them are enabled. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go process further apart from the steps. Creating an audience, we have already checked. How do we create an audience is like by uploading the customers or we filter the customers. And we just have to pick up them here and then we will have to define a content and review and send it. For defining the content, I'll try to show you from a different tool, which is from a journey builder. For now, let's see the remaining options. Here we have a lot plus cloud page. And we have a cloud page, which is something which we are going to be seeing in the next session, where we can create a separate cloud page in the Web Studio. What this type of push method works is like, suppose if you are sending a push notification and then if a customer clicks on the push notification, it will be taking them to a cloud page that you have created in the Web Studio. When we go to the defined content, it will ask you to pick up your cloud page URL and then we send the push notification, which is an alert plus. When the customer clicks on it, it will take them to our cloud page. All this is a push method that we have. Selecting audience, we pretty much know how we can do it. And we have already created a list for mobile connect, which is going to be same as for mobile push. For some reason, it is not allowing me to access the attribute groups. Let me do it one more time. And then we pick up the list that we have created. It's either going to be the file that you have imported or the filter list that we have created. And let's see the content, how we can create from a journey builder. I have access only to one push notification, which is the inbox. Let's see if I can bring some examples on here. I cannot. This is the inbox. I need access to a push notification. Let me see if I have a connection. I have a screenshot. This is because that we are not able to proceed further with the next step because we don't have the license. I mean, we don't have the application which is like a register. I have a screenshot which we can definitely refer. This is from the journey builder. When we come to the fourth step in defining content, this is how the user interface is going to be. Our user interface is going to be exactly the same as what you see in this screenshot. It will have a title, it will have a subtitle, it will have a message, it will have an open behavior. And we always keep the title for sure. That is going to be thanks for registering. We just have to do the name here. And we also have a best practice that needs to be followed for title, subtitle, and also for messaging. I believe we never exceed like a more than 100 characters for title. And we have a good like close to 300, maximum of 300 character limitation for this message. But we again also try to keep it very short as much as possible. Probably. We used to keep it somewhere around 140 for it. Maximum 100 character limitation for title and 150 characters for message. But as we discussed and as I mentioned, you can keep up more text, like maximum length is somewhere around 300 to 400 characters that you can keep it. But when we just keep the text too long, and it really look not well in the push notification. And that's the reason title and subtitle and message. We always try to keep it very short. And once we come to the fourth part, and this is the kind of skill we get, we define the content here title, and most of the time I don't keep my subtitle. Then I keep the subtitle on. It makes my push notification too big. I always keep this disabled. And it's again up to you and up to the campaign. Depends on the campaign that you are bringing to the table. And here we have the message. Here you just give the text version of it. And if you have the rich media which is enabled, you see the button on top of it. When you click on the button, you can pick up an image. This has to be like a 200 to 200 pixel dimension. And once you pick up that image, you will be able to see a small image on top of a title here. And then here is the open behavior. You go to app URL and it says swecom/get coupon. And this is an open behavior. If a customer clicks on your push notification where it should take you to where a customer should be landing. And here I have the location which is going to be location in the application. When customer clicks on this notification, they will be taken to this particular location and application. This is something that we will do. The next template is for the location entry and location exit. Everything is going to be pretty much same. And whatever the location we create here, we have to pick up and defining content and reviewing the news. Everything is going to be the same as it is. The only step that we have to do is we would have created the location. Here is the location that we have created. We can name the location, and here there are probably 19 locations that has been created out of the particular location that we can create at the maximum. We can also customize the name here. Here, I just named it as a Bengaluru. I have named it as a Bengaluru on the Korean, this location that we can pick up when we come to the third step. Once we pick up this location and we define the content, which is going to be the same as what we've seen for outbound, and then we send this campaign to the customers. When here's the tricky part is we are going to be keep on getting the location of the customer through an AP. I call. If any of the customer location matches with this latitude, longitude that we have from Google, if it matches, that's when we'll be able to send the official location. Every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes, we have to make an AP. a call from mobile devices, and then it will capture, and then it will be sending to FCOMC, and then SFCOMC will be keep on looking for a matching location. If it matches, the push notification will be triggered. This is how SQMC will be comparing. But the tricky part here is the getting the location information into SFCOMC. And location exit is also going to be the same location we have to create. And then we will have to proceed forward and save for 3 of these geofences exactly same. Only thing is, we just have to pick up the location. The Bluetooth location is going to be only for short range, which is going to be 20 meters of maximum. And the last one. This part is something that we rarely use it. This inbox. I cannot really show a screenshot for this because we will send the message to the inbox in the application. There are some applications which have inbox. For example, I have noticed this in the gaming applications like PUBG, like Call of Duty, and a lot of gaming like PlayStation, which will have a folder in the application called Inbox. Even now in Amazon and some applications, they have a bell icon. When there will be a push notification, we can create a notification in those bell icon. If they click on it, it will have a message. If you would like to send a message directly to inbox that you have an application, we can use this application. And this set of campaign, we can use it when customer is unsubscribed by a push notification or. Suppose if a customer does not want to receive any of this communication from us, and we can still send out this message to inbox. It doesn't just go like a push notification, normal push notification. And they don't also see any sound or anything. But in the open application, there will be a small bell icon which will start highlighting in the application. And if they click on it, they'll be able to see a message. And if you would like to come up with a campaign, you can use this template in the mobile push. Here is a deliver message directly within an app inbox to each customer who has opted out of push notifications. And of course, it's an offer within the app inbox after push notification has been disappeared all. And use Cloud Page to add rich offer content inside the application. Here also we get the same option, like to pick up the open behavior. When they open the message, they can add the open behavior. This open behavior, whether they would like to take the customer into a particular location, an app or some other, a third-party posted website or any cloud pages that they have created in the SFO directly. We have an option to pick up all of them in the inbox campaign as well. These are like 5 campaigns now we have for this account. Let me check if there is anything that we have extra in this account. I don't have even access to create the message. One more question. In-app that is. Yes, I know. You're not? Also on messaging. How in Apple work? Let me probably. This doesn't work like a push notification. When you open an application, it will have an inbox folder inside the application and will just say like one messages, 2 messages. And then when we open that, and we'll be able to see the messages exactly. Let me see if I can put any. Like an example, app not a notification. Something like this. Here is this. There is a notification. We see here when I click on notification, all the messages that we can see, and when we click on any of those messages, and we'll be able to see the content that we have defined. And then we'll be able to also take the customers to a specific location. This is how exactly we can send a notification that, or if I have a folder, separate folder for inbox, I can also send the customers. I can send the message to them that day. These set of campaigns, as we discussed, we use it only like if the customer is already unsubscribed. And then we would like to reach out to them. This is the type of campaign we use it. Perfect. Move on with the Mobile Connect. Here we don't need to really discuss about the importing the contact and filtering the contacts, which is going to be exactly the same as what we have seen in Mobile Push. Here they go to Mobile Contact Builder and that the all contact. We go to Mobile List when I click on Create Mobile List. Instead of a Mobile Push, I will have to go with the Mobile Connect. Here same step. Either I can create a file from a CSV that I have in my system, or I can filter the list. When I go with the filter list, I go with the filter list only if I have to use the existing customers in the system. I have those customers already in the system. All that's when I go with the filter list and then I go and pick up the all contact. Here I have to go with the Mobile Connect and then we just upload filters. And if you have more data in your data extension, we might have created the data mapping. You may see like a more fee, like a first name, last name, city, like plenty of other fee. Like if you have already created a relationship, you will be able to see them and you can upload directly, filter. And then you can save this as a filter and then you can start using this list for sending out the SMS communications. This is how we create lists. Be pretty much aware of it. And when I go to an administration tab, we pretty much have the same thing. But here there are two licenses all. Let me put that in a ship because this is like really important for Mobile Connect. For Mobile Connect, we have a short code and long code. There are two licenses that we have for Mobile Connect. A short code usually represents only one country, and this is a license we have to take it. Suppose your organization would like to send the SMS communication to the various countries. Your organization may have a presence in various countries. My organization has a presence in like about 100 countries. In that situation, I will go with the long code. My long code usually be like this. Like an example, it would be like this. And it will not represent any country. This long code has a capability of sending a push notification to multiple countries at a time. In my previous organization, we have one long code which was supporting 1062 countries in total. It depends on what is the license that we take. In my previous organization, we used to pay somewhere around 1500 USD for this particular license. And top of that, for the number of SMS that we send, there is also an operator charges. In India, it's 045, I believe. Like for sending out one SMS communication from my phone, it varies for each and every country. For Belgium, it's 0.69. And for Germany, it's somewhere around 0.610. It varies for each and every country all. Even for US, there is also like a different charges. Every country has different charges based on how their operator works. The 0 to 5 rupees we pay if I have about like 100 customers in my list. And I may have like 50 hotel and 50 Vodafone operator all. And if I'm sending out 50 messages, 100 messages, and each and every operator may have a different rate, and that's what we pay to the operator. And then to a Salesforce, we need this license to send out this SMS. Apparently why? Because the mobile connect is quite expensive. We have to first pay this one 500 USD for enabling this in the account. Second, this is not something enough. Once we have this license for the number of SMS that we send, we also have to pay to the operator. All this is the reason why the mobile connect is being really expensive in the face of the market. And this is the major reason that majority of the organization does not use the mobile connect these days because of the costing factor. This is about the long code. In the other hand, we have a short code which will be like this. It will have a 5-digit and it will represent the country code in the end. That means I can send the SMS communication only to India. I can send and also receive SMS. But in the long code, I can only send. I can only send SMS communication, but I cannot receive the SMS communication all. Suppose you might have come across this kind of situation. You may see any SMS coming to your mobile saying that in case if you are interested in our product or service, say interested, type interested, and send a message to 134.5 and then we will get back to you immediately. Funding. If you would like to deliver those sort of campaign, we have to have a short code license in your marketing flow. And this also somewhere around 1000 USD per annum. You have to pay to stay in source to get the short code license. The complexity, the cost, where the costing factor is happening. Here is this short code is only for India. If I have any customers who are from different countries and I won't be able to use the short code for any of the SMS communication, I have to buy. Suppose if I have to send out the SMS only for Germany, then I need to buy another license for another short code. I have to buy for Germany. And that's when I can start sending and receive the SMS communications. How does the small stuff the organization works? If they would like to only send out the SMS communication to multiple countries, they buy a long code which is 1500 USD. It may be, I don't know, like the current price. But 200 years ago, the 3 years was quoting 1500 USD for long code which was supporting 162 countries all. And if you would like to do only our outgoing campaign, then we can buy a long code and then deliver the SMS communication to multiple customers at the same time. And if you haven't say, I mean if you have your organization is operating just only in one country, let's say, like your organization has only customers in India, then it's always better to go with the short code. Here you have also capability of sending SMS and also receiving the SMS. And once we receive the SMS, we can send out the automated message as soon as we receive the incoming message. Let's see what are different types of campaigns. But I believe this does make sense for us. Two important licenses, the short code and long code, and we know how it is different from each other. When we go to the administration tab, that's what we see here. If you have a license for short code and long code, you see the code and locally that it represents. For short coded, we'll say IN. IN represents India. If you have a DE, that will support only sending SMSs to Germany. Locally, it's nothing but your country code. Once we have the license, we should be able to see them, and then we can start sending this SMS communication. And setting part in the administration is simple. Here we have the non-GSM keywords. Suppose if we are sending the SMS to countries where they have a special character like Russia, Korea, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, they have a special character. Even in Germany, there are like 4 characters which have a special character. In case, if you would like to use those special characters at the time of sending the SMS and also at the time of receiving the SMS, we need to have the non-GSM keywords enabled in the setting. And we also have a bounce logic in the SMS. Whenever we keep on sending SMS to them, SMS to the operators, and if we don't get the response back from the operator continuously for more than 3 times, it will mark the subscriber as a health customer. You will be able to see those that our customers will be moved automatically into the health customer. And we can see the number of subscribers here. And if you probably would like to play them manually, we can just click on play as it is, and we will be able to remove all of the customers from health list. And if you would like to start sending SMS, and all of the health customers which we have removed will be included in the next SMS, and that we are figuring. We are about clearing the health customers. How it really works. When we don't get the delivery rate response for more than 3 times. Here we have only one stack that we can get from operator. It's only a delivery rate because here we cannot check the open credit rate and bounce rate and all of them. Here, the only stack that we get from a mobile operator is the delivery rate. For email, it's all going to be different. We get an open click bounce, we get an unsubscription, we get a lot of engagement back from the email. For mobile push notification, we will be able to track the click rate. We send the push notification, and if the customer clicks on it, we can track it. We can promote the engagement, but not with the Mobile Connect because there is no option for SMS to track the open like and all of them. If it's on WhatsApp, then we can do it. There are some organizations who they have connected their WhatsApp into a group connect. I don't see this option in the personal account that I have. But let me check if it's there. I think it's Mobile Connect 2.0 is the WhatsApp. Here we can connect the WhatsApp into your SFMC and then we'll be able to start sending the push notification to the customers. And here we have the header footer from name. This is pretty much exactly what we have already seen in the mobile push. and also even the send block code. I can set the send block code time here from on to time. If I try to send out any push notification, I won't be able to send any notification based on the time that I have left here. Perfect. This is all about an administration part. Now let's move on to the overview. Here we have pretty much covered how we can add the context and how we can also filter the existing customers. Let's directly jump into the different set of campaigns we have. Here we have really a couple of useful campaigns. These two are something that we majorly use 95%. In fact, more than 95%. We use only like two of the campaigns most of the time, and mobile opt-in and email opt-in. This is very rarely we use it, but majorly we use this outbound and then text response. It depends on the campaign requirement. Now let's see the use case for outbound. In this outbound, we have a broadcast, the use case for a broadcast, and new product offering, coupon or sale announcement. This is also what's exactly same as the mobile push. In case if you would like to send out just a simple look SMS communication informing about your product and service, we can use this outbound. Here, let's go to the next step. Here we define the properties. This message name is something that's for internal systems. Customer will not see this message, name and shortcode and long code. When I pick up the shortcode and long code, I get an option. That will be one more tab which will be created. It will ask us to customize the name. For example, if I get the email from Amazon, even probably if you just open your phone and if you go to your inbox folder, you may probably see a number and at the same time, you may also see a custom name. Like Amazon or like a Flipkart or Zalando, you see the company name instead of a text. That's how we can customize the name here in the third step. As soon as I pick up my short code or long code, I can customize it from me like exactly the same way that we do it in Mobile Email Studio. We create the sender profile, but here we have an option to customize it here directly, and then we schedule it or create the call. The AP call is pretty much simple. We need the configuration. We are going to be using this Postman tool. In case if we have not installed the application, please install it in your local machine. In the upcoming session, we are going to be practicing from a Postman directly to send the customer information through an AP call from a Postman tool. There are plenty of collections which I have already for SFMC. This is something that I will also be sharing. I have a source contrast AP call. Here is for mess. Here I create message post message number, create keyword. This is for posts. We will be able to pass on the customer information here, and as soon as we pass on the information, we'll be able to send out the SMS communication from here directly. All we need is a recipient definition key. This is a definition key which is very important. And once I define the content here, when I save and activate, it will show you the definition key. It will automatically create. This is not something user defined. It will create a system, will create a definition key. That definition key is something that we have to keep here, and then we'll be able to send the request to the SOPMCE directly. Using this AP, I call using this subdomain and everything. We create this subdomain in the upcoming session, and we'll cover this in very much detail, because when you would like to become a developer, or if you'd like to play a role as an architect, this post management will definitely help you a lot. As we know that, since we don't have a license for it, I'm going to show you an example from a Johnny Builder, how we create the content for SS. Let's see when we come to the third step. Here we are going to be picking up the list that we have created. And the fourth part is what I'm going to show from a Johnny Builder. I'll create a new message. Same here also. I'll be asking, would you like to create a new account? I'll pick up the existing content that we have created. Exactly the same interface is what we get when we come to the fourth step. Here we type in the content. Thanks for showing interest. And then, in case if you'd like to add any URL, which is really huge, and if you'd like to shorten it, there is a bit.ly which is already with the free integration that we have already. In case if you'd like to use them, you can use them. It's called bit.ly. If you have a long URL, this tool will shorten it and then give you a small URL for you. I believe that you might have probably used this. Suppose you have like a huge URL like www.git open. Something like that. If you have a huge URL, it will help you to shorten them into a or. If you look at this now, it is shortened. And then you can start using this code in your SMS communication. You can use it. When a customer click on it, it will take them to the link that we have defined in the previous page that we have created. We have given a huge URL. That's the URL the customer will be taking if you click on it. All this is very useful. We don't need any specific license for it, and it's already there. You just have to give the end big URL, and then you just click on shorten URL and system will automatically take it. System will automatically generate the shorter version of the URL for you. Perfect here. It shows the characters, which is really, really important. A lot of the SFMC marketers, they do mistake on this part, especially because each and every country has a character limitation. In India, we have a character limitation of 162. Mobile characters limit for India. Q is 60. Mobile operator character limit in India. It has maximum of 160 characters. Whenever we keep adding a content here, your character will be keep on increasing. Now it becomes 62. For India, it's 160 characters that you can send. If you exceed more than 160 characters, that means you have to take twice the amount. All this is also another reason that Mobile Connect is quite expensive tool in SFMC, because suppose if I have to send the SMS to 10,000 customers, and if by mistake, if I exceed more than 162, that means I will have to pay like a 10,000 rupees by keeping the operator rate for one SMS. If I say, then 1 rupee is what I have to pay for 1 SMS. That's the reason it's quite expensive for sending out the SMS. There are some situations where you cannot restrict the number of characters that you include. Some organizations, they send out the SMSs with more than 200 characters. In that situation, when they have like really important message that they have to deliver to the customers, then there will no other option left. They will have to like send out the SMSs with more than 160 characters. It varies for every country. It doesn't. 250 characters is not only for India. It keep on varying for every country. Whenever we send out the SMS communications, I always like to track and get the character limitation for every country. And then I cross-check if we are exceeding the limitation. If we are exceeding, I'll immediately get in touch with the content developer. I tell them we are exceeding the character by like 5 characters or by 10 characters. I reach out to them and ask them if it's possible that you can reduce the character somehow, because we will be paying a lot of money, like if I see those character limitations. How I usually create the content, how I usually do is I create the India version. I type in my all the content here, and I will also create the column for each and every country. If I have to deliver SMS for 50 countries, I'll include the column for 50 countries and I'll share this with the developer. The developer will be responsible to create the content for me and then share the content. And here also contains 62. And 62 is my character limitation. Then it goes for each and every country 49 to 161, something like that. I'll define the limitation, character limitation. The content developer will be able to create it for me and then share it in the Excel sheet or something. And then we'll be able to deliver the campaign here. This is how we mostly like deliver the SMS campaign. The first thing is defining the properties. We pick up either the short code or long code that you would like to use. If I have to send out the SMSs to only one country, short code. If I have to send the SMS to multiple countries, then long code that we can use it. We can also use long code for sending out the SMS to one country, but it depends on what is the license that your organization has taken it. And we pick up the audience we have created and then we define the content, same as what we have already seen in the journey builder. And then finally, we schedule the campaign to be delivered. This is a full 5 steps that we have to do with delivering the SMS. On top of that, majority of the time we don't execute a campaign from mobile push or mobile connect function, because there is plenty of restrictions we have on these tools. We don't execute a campaign from here. We always execute a campaign from Journey Builder, because it gives you more options in controlling which customer needs to be getting the SMS communications. We talk about this Journey Builder also in detail. I would like to show bringing a Journey Builder because unfortunately, just because we don't have the license, we cannot proceed further to a 3rd step or 4th step. And that's the reason I'm showing each and every step in a different way. And then we are just campaigning all of them together, all. Moving on with the next. Kumar, I have a question if you don't mind. Yes, just a simple question. When you select the audience on the outbound campaign, I know you can't show up because you don't have the license for it. But can you select that from a date extension? No, we cannot. It can be either this. It's only this. Only for the relationship that we create, that we keep all the customers in the data extension and then we make a relationship. And for filtering on uploading new set of customers is only a list that we can use it. The data extension is only for our email studio and apart from all the places we use, only a list for the campaign. Thank you. Moving on with the next text response. This is super powerful. We might have noticed, like in many places, but we may not aware that how it really works in the real-time situation. Or I'll come across that I have used this very much in my previous organization. I'll give you a couple of use cases here. Now let's. The template was discarded. This is super useful because we can use this type of template for your TV advertisements, your paper advertisements, and you can also use it for your coding advertisements. And also for like a tab and all of them. How does this really works for us? Here we can create an external source. This is an optional that we have. Suppose if I'm creating a text, I'm interested. And then code. Here you have to mention the short code that you have for your organization. Suppose this is your short code. Now you might have noticed this kind of a text in your TV and that's. I'm not sure like how many of you noticed. If the TV advertisement is going on in the bottom of your TV advertisement or somewhere like in your TV advertisement, there will be a small text which will have this kind of a content in your. Even if you probably, let's just look at the newspaper advertisements, we have to write the huge newspaper advertisement. Somewhere in the bottom, you will see this kind of content in the newspaper advertisement and also in coding. We have a lot of huge banners in the street. And if you closely look at the banner and you see this kind of content somewhere, whenever you create this kind of content in your any of those sources, external sources, and there are some customers, they look at it and then they send the interested message to the source number. And when customers send out the SMS communication number saying interested, we will send the automated response based on the content that we defined here. Supposedly the third step. Here I'm going to be defining the third sub, saying thank you for showing interest with us. Your contact information have been saved into the system and we will get in touch with you within 2 hours of time or within 24 hours. What about the content that we define? The third step, saying there is nothing different, we just define the content same as what we have seen already here. And as soon as we get the SMS to this number with this content, we will trigger the SMS that you have defined here in the third step. It will automatically go. It's not something that we are triggering. It's not something that we are sending SMS as like a kind of promotion. This is more or less like a trigger campaign. When we get the SMS, and that's when the SMS will be triggered from the SFMC. Saying like if anyone like. And the message is once another content and whatever we can, then we are defined. The third sub will be triggered with MS. It's really useful. And we use this type of campaign, like if your organization is running quite frequently on TV advertisement and external. I'm not sure if I can show an example. I don't think I'll be able to find an example in Google, but probably like if you just go to any TV advertisements or if you go to any newspaper, please watch it closely. You may see this kind of a text, and then that's how it works. Perfect. And the rest of the steps is pretty much the same. And this is one type of campaign that we have. The last two campaigns are like very simple and straightforward. This is simply increase the mobile opt-in and email opt-in. Suppose if I go with the email opt-in, if I go to the next step, change complete. The steps are going to be pretty much same as what we have already seen. But the objective of this campaign is to improve the email opt-in. You may have, here is the outbound. We have external content, external sources, and we have also SMS sent and external sources. I'll tell you what exactly this outbound works for. Subscriber receives an outbound message prompting them to participate. Here we send out the SMS communication to them saying, we see that you have already opted in to get the SMS communication. Would you like to get the newsletter also from us through an email? And click on the below link to opt in for email. If you would like to send us this kind of outbound communication, then you can go with this one. Here in the last section, you can also send the outbound communication at the same time. It can be also used for external sources also. And this is only for external sources. We can just create a kind of particular keyword like a type keyword and then email address to one. No. Here whenever we do advertisements, writing a TV or a paper or coding. We also customers also have to enter their email address and send the SMS to on no. We will add these customers into the email opt-in subscription status and then we'll start sending this email communication. All it's useful, but this is something that we can easily achieve through the text response campaign. These are the different set of campaigns that we have in the SFMC. This is also going to be seen by often as well. It's going to be seen as what we have already seen. We will also have our outbound and we will also have those external sources that we have seen. The important part is the data is enough. And we just have to bring the data of mobile connect or a mobile push in, and then here we have a greater relationship with the system attribute. There are only 3 fields which is being connected to the system attribute. We will have to connect it from the key to contact key, from center to center, locally to locally. And then whatever the field that we have, it will be automatically synchronized with the system attribute. And then we can start applying more filters. And then we'll be able to start using them very much effectively in the mobile connect. This is for mobile opt in same way. Here we have the call to action only for send assets, ends, and external sources. When I use this type of campaign, I'll be able to send out the SMS communication to them, and at the same time, I can also use this shortcode for external sources. This is something that is pretty much the same as the email opt-in. In case the customer has to opt in for email, they will have to also include their email address here. In this, they will have to include the email address, and then they send out the SMS back to this number, what we define, and then we'll be able to add this subscriber into the emailing list. And then we can reach out to the customers through our email communication. I think pretty much we have covered the majority of the templates. As we discussed majorly, we used to opt-in campaign. Like if you ask me, like most of the campaign is going to be outbound. Some campaign may. If your organization is using those like TV advertisements, paper advertisements, then we use this text response. If anyone shows interest by typing those keywords that we have defined in the SMS, then we trigger an automated response out of the customers. It's only when we receive the incoming message, otherwise the setup campaign doesn't work. And when we go to an overview, we can also see how many outbound or incoming messages that we have received, outgoing and outbound. This is also something that we use it for unsubscription. In SFMC, you can also type in vote and then you can send SMS back to the particular number. We can consider that as unsubscription. At the same time, we can also send out the SMS communication to them saying sorry to see you go. You have been successfully unsubscribed from our SMS emailing list. That is also something that we will be able to perform in case if you would like to send them a confirmation for their own subscription. Great. Perfect. That's all about the different type of templates that we have in Mobile Connect. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@upptalk.com.